What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. These are the 5 coolest things that you can do with a reverb pedal. Today we are using the Silver Lake reverb pedal from Seymour Duncan. Here's number 1, make it sound epic. So all I'm doing here is running the reverb pedal in the effects loop of a high gain amp sound. I'm using a really big hall sound. The mix is set at about 25%, and it just adds this beautiful ambient epic sound to all the notes that you play. You got to make sure that the decay isn't set too high, otherwise it's going to make a muddy mess all over your notes. But for lead guitar, for single note stuff, this is, it's just so big. And it makes you feel like you're standing on top of a huge epic mountain with the wind blowing through your scalp. Anyway, it's a one-of-a-kind feeling. I highly recommend trying it out. Number 2, you can create super creepy movie soundtracks with just your guitar. So all I'm doing to achieve this sound is cranking up both the mix and the decay on the exact same sound that we used for the last one. So what that does is it takes the sound and it just makes it reverberate over and over and over again, and it creates this really nice ambient wash. Then you just play a couple creepy sounding chords and voila. Number 3, I call this the incredible disappearing guitar. This one's pretty simple, same exact sound as before, except we're cranking the mix 100% of the way up, and we're also turning the decay up even further than it was before. And the idea here is that you can either do sort of volume swells, or just pick the notes. The idea is that we lose the attack of the guitar pick, and all you're hearing is just the reverb. Number 4, Surf's Up. The very best way to get a surf rock guitar tone out of your amp is by taking a spring reverb sound and putting it in the effects loop and then cranking it up a bit so it's like real saturated and real ambient. Give your amp just a little bit of gain, just enough to really make it twang. Make sure you're on the bridge pickup, preferably with a single coil sound. I'm using the coil tap setting on my Music Man here. And then you're basically gonna play like death metal style tremolo picking. And voila. Number 5, shoegaze explosion. So what I'm doing to achieve this particular sound is I'm taking the reverb out of the effects loop and I'm running it straight into the front of the amp. So it's going guitar into reverb pedal into the input of the amp, which if you're using a distorted guitar tone is in general not really advisable, only because what it does is that it creates this crazy chaotic wash of noise. The reason for this is now the huge wash of the reverb and all the repeats of the sound that you're hearing that you've played are now all hitting the front of the amp almost at once, and it's really making a much more chaotic sound than when it's in the loop where you get a nice sort of clean, isolated sound. This is really good for when you want just straight up chaos out of your amp, and it really creates a huge, although to a certain extent, a lo-fi kind of a sound. And it sort of compresses the whole thing, and you really hear the reverb a lot. So you have to be kind of careful with how much of the mix knob you use when you're making this sound, because it can just get out of control real fast. I hope you found some cool new uses for your reverb pedal. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more reviews and original content, and I'll see you real soon.